Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, or welcome back to today's tutorial. On today's tutorial, I'll be making this beautiful half peplum top, and if this is something you're interested in, please keep watching. Of course, we're starting with our basic bodice pattern. So what I'm doing here is I'm dividing the shoulder by 2, then I'll do a straight line. So after doing that, I'll take my underbust measurement divided by 4 and I'll put it right there. So after taking my underbust measurement divided by 4, I have like 1.25 inches left. So I'll divide that unequally on the underbust dart. So the bigger part goes to the side front while the smaller part goes to the center front. And then I'm going up by 1.5 inches from my chest line. So on our new chest line, we're going to take 0.5 inch on both sides and then connect it to the bust point. So that extra that we took at the underbust for underbust tightening, we're going to connect it using our curve like I'm doing in the video. Just make sure it's not too pointed so you don't have any issues when joining it. After doing that, you then connect it to our waist dart like I'm doing in the video. After doing that, don't forget to label your pieces so when you cut it you are not confused. So now what I'm doing here is just cutting it out, and yeah, I'll be closing our bust dart with our paper tape. Now also for the back, we're just going to divide our shoulder measurement by 2 and then draw a straight line, and we're going to go up by 1.5 from our chest line and draw a straight line too. Now after that, on our new chest line, we're going to come up by 0.25 on both sides of that line I'm drawing and then connect it to our dart. I'm so sorry about the on and off auto. I put it on the wrong setting. So from our zipper line, from our new chest line, go down by 1 inch and then connect. So it has like a curve at the back. Now you go ahead and cut out your back pattern, and don't forget to label it as well so you do not get confused. Now we'll be cutting our fabric, and as usual I used my fabric as my lining and the main piece. But if you want to use less fabric, you can use your fabric and then use another type of lining. So what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to set it so I can cut everything at the same time and not waste any more time. And the pen is your best friend as usual. I do not joke with my pens because it makes work and makes life easier for me. So I also go ahead and pin my back pattern as well. So what I'm doing here is the part I'll be joining together, I'm coming out by 0.5 inch. I'm adding 0.5 inch for joining allowance and 1 inch for seam allowance. For the zipper allowance, I'm adding 1 inch as well. So it's more like I'm adding 0.5 inch all round and then 1 inch for the side seam. Please do not forget that the center front is 1 piece. I cut on fold for the center front. So now go ahead and cut all your pieces, and do not forget to cut your lining piece as well. So I have 3 pieces for the front for the main piece and the same as lining, and 4 pieces for the back. Now for the sleeve, you just go ahead and fold it into 2, and then you add 2 inches at the top part for your elastic casing, and from there you draw a straight line, and that's where you start your sleeve curve from. So now you bring your front pattern and then you put your front pattern curve there and then trace it out like I'm doing in the video. Now from that 2 inches, you're going to take your sleeve length. So what I took was 12 inches because I'm going to still fold in 2 inches for elastic casing. Or if you wanted it shorter than that, you have to go lesser than that. So we need 2 pieces of this, one for the left hand side and one for the right hand side. Now for the peplum, I'm using 7 inches long and 15 inches wide. You can go longer or fuller if you want. For the back, I'm using 25 inches wide on both sides. I'm using 7 inches long. So when I fold into it, it's like 3.5. Now these are all our pieces. I'm just putting out there so you see it. So I've gone ahead to add my ST on the front and the back part of my main fabric, and I'll go ahead to now start joining it together. So what I've done here is I just pinned everything, and then I'm going to sew it all the way down there and on the other side as well. I'll do the same thing for the back, and I'll do the exact same thing for the lining piece as well. So make sure you iron all your pieces after joining it to give you a very easy and sweet sewing. So what I'm doing here is I'm just notching all the areas. So I'll open it up and iron it with my ironing ball, which is also called the tailor ham, which I made myself. When you use a tailoring ham, your posture tends to come out really well and beautiful. Now we're going to join the front main piece and the lining piece together on the top part. After joining, you make sure you top stitch the lining so it stays really flat. And then we go ahead and repeat the same thing for the back piece as well. I've gone ahead to sew and top stitch, and now of course I'm going to iron properly. It's always very sweet when you iron and sew, trust me. Keep that aside and join your belt. You join your belt on one side, and then you go ahead and turn it inside out, and then you iron. Emphasis on ironing. Emphasis on ironing. After doing that, you keep that aside as well, and then you go ahead and gather your peplum. Remember, we're just using one peplum, which is just for the front, and we're using belts for the back. So it's more like an half peplum. So here I'm just trying to iron it so it stays flat. If you know that very annoying sticker that doesn't like to go out even when you use the iron, this is the tip for you. Just use your nail polish remover to just remove the sticker, and it doesn't even stick afterward. Now we're going to make our elastic casing, which is literally just folding your top part and into two to make the elastic casing, and make sure that the rough edges is not showing like I'm doing in the video. We'll repeat the same step for the down part as well, because we need the elastic casing for the down part. Now repeat the same thing for the second side of our sleeves. Now I'm just going to pass my elastic through my elastic casing. Make sure you measure your elastic properly. Just put the elastic around your arm just to make sure that it's tight enough for you. Go ahead and use your safety pin to pass the elastic through the elastic casing. Well, I couldn't use that, so I just went ahead and used whatever I had. So now I just went ahead to join my peplum to my top. I'm just spinning it so you see how it looks like. So what I'm doing here is I'm sewing the down part of the back pattern, and then I'm going to iron it because I don't want to use bias to finish it. Now before you join your peplum to your top part, make sure you bend and sew that part I'm just showing you, and make sure you sew it 1 inch before the side seam so you can join the back pattern to the front pattern without any issue, because I had to just use my seam ripper to rip the end of that part. Just place it like I'm showing you in the video. Make sure you use your pin because it's very important. It just makes life easy. So what I'm doing here, I'm just taking my bust measurement divided by 2, and then taking whatever I have, the remaining part of my seam allowance to it, and then I'm going to sew that part. But before I do, I'm going to put my belt in between my lining and my main piece. So this is where I was seam ripping it. You do not want to seam rip, so do not make my mistake. Now this is what I have right here. So I'm going to put my belt in between the back and the front piece like I'm doing in the video. So just follow whatever I'm doing and I promise you'll be fine. So it's okay to make mistake and then seam rip. Do not even feel like we don't seam rip. We seam rip sometimes we don't just show it so the video is not so long. So if you make any mistake, do not hesitate to just seam rip it and move on. After pinning it that way, we are going to go ahead and sew it like I'm showing you in the video, and make sure you just bend that excess that we have, we loosed out from the side of our peplum. Just bend it and sew top stitch on top of it like I'm showing you in the video as well. And after doing that, you make sure you weave all your rough edges, or use a zigzag stitch. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting my zip. I know I've mentioned a lot of time that it is not my strength. I do not like to put a zip, but of course you have to put zip on some of your tops and dresses. So what I'm doing here, I'm just marking out the allowance, and then I'm going to pin it and then go ahead and use my zipper foot and put the a zip on my top. Make sure you want to use an open and close zip so you'll be able to get out and get in your top. And yeah, do not forget to pin. Please pin. It's just easy to pin. And my zip was really too long, so I had to cut the zip and fold it to make sure that it's the size of the top. Well, if you know me by now, you know that I like to try out the top to see how it fits and then make any adjustment. So yeah, this is my zip. I'm so sorry I didn't show you the process. Maybe next time I'll show you the full process. So now we are going to join our sleeve to our top. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to measure the how wide the sleeve curve is. So I would sew it on the sleeve and then come back to join the sleeve to the top like I'm doing in this part of the video. You want to be very careful when using your pin. The thing poked me like crazy and it was so painful. After you pin your sleeve, you go ahead and sew it on both sides and then finish the rough edges of your peplum and you're done with your top. Yay! So please enjoy your top. So I just tried it out here to see if I also need any more adjustments. So yeah, and your top is done. Woohoo! Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. If this tutorial was helpful and useful to you, please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Okay, bye. Happy sewing.